she reserved this in there for the kids.
And on behalf of the DGF Music Department, I'd like to welcome you to this evening's performance. We have the 5th and 6th grade during this concert. At 7 o'clock, we'll be having the 7th and 8th graders. And you'll see around the space these bright yellow sheets of paper that have QR codes on them. You can feel free to scan this, either after the concert or maybe you did on your way in. And it will take you to a thing called a Padlet. And it's kind of like an online bulletin board. So if you want to share something positive, if you want to share a note, or if you take some cute pictures or something afterward, or maybe you already have, you want to share them, you can feel free to share something on here if you'd like to. It makes us talking about the concert go a little bit better instead of, how was the concert? It was good. Did you have fun? It was fine. So it'd be nice if you shared something just so that we have, some more information and we can just chat and see like, oh, this person said this and this person said this. And it's just kind of fun for them to see themselves up on the big screen if there are pictures or anything. So feel free to do that. Like I said, this is our 5th grade band. They have come a very long way. I'm sure you heard at home and they're practicing. This is not the same band that you heard in December, right? In our very first concert they're still kind of trying to figure out, how do I hold this? And how do I sit? And how do I do this? And how do I do that? And like, what the heck is band? And by now they're kind of like, I get band. Band is cool. I can get with band. So, enjoy what we put together here. Throughout the program, you'll hear some speakers coming up to kind of introduce each piece and say some program notes for you. Enjoy.
Imagine the sun rising over a brand new day. This piece is called A Fanfare, which is a bold and exciting musical announcement. It begins with powerful sounds like the first light of dawn, and then moves into a bright and energetic melody. Listen closely, and you might feel like you're stepping into a great adventure. This beautiful song is over 150 years old. It was sung during the Civil War that tells a story about kindness and love. You might even recognize the tune. It was used in the famous Elvis Presley song, Love Me Tender. Our band will play a sweet, gentle, and sweet version, and that brings us moment. The word fortitude means strength and courage, especially when things get tough. This piece is bold and brave with music that rises and falls like a wheel facing challenges. As you listen, imagine a daring journey where you keep going, no matter what comes in your way. This is fortitude.
Okay, we have one more piece for you as a whole band here. As you can see in the program, we have some small groups with our 6th grade and with our 5th grade. There's 4 different kind of small ensembles that will be coming up in the middle before 6th grade band gets up here. You can see, right, the progress. Isn't that great? Isn't that great? They're a hoot to work with too. They're having so much fun. I'm having so much fun teaching them. It's been really great. If you'd like your 5th grade student to come sit with you once we wrap up here, if they're not in a small ensemble, you are more than welcome to do that. I know my 6th graders would definitely appreciate having a large audience. We put in a lot of time and a lot of work and a lot of energy and effort putting on a performance like this. So we welcome you all to stay if you are able. With that, declare our last piece.
What if your kitchen turned into a music stage? This playful piece is inspired by the sounds you might hear while cooking, clinks, clatters, and all. The music is light and bouncy, almost like a dance. You might even hear a few surprises along the way. Get ready for some musical fun straight from the heart of the kitchen.
Yeah, just going to go through, huh? Okay.
How about those ensembles? Those are so much fun to put together. It's so much fun getting in our little sectional lessons and working on that. It's a really fun time. So, this is our 6th grade band. We have 5 selections for you this evening. And you'll also be hearing from a few people in the band who'll be reading some program notes here as well. We hope you enjoy.
The word jubilant means to full of joy, and that's exactly how this piece sounds. It's bright, energetic, and bursting with happiness. From the very first moment you hear music that feels like a celebration. Imagine dancing and screaming with your friends as you listen to your short, cool, and exciting piece.
Picture a calm and peaceful ocean where the water is smooth and quiet. That's what placid means, calm and still. This piece has a gentle and relaxing melody, like a boat softly floating on the waves. Close your eyes and let the music take you on a smooth and peaceful journey across the sea.
fast and powerful like a mysterious creature flying through the night sky. This music is filled with energy and excitement. With dark, bold sounds that keep you on the edge of your seat. Imagine a daring nighttime adventure as you listen to this thrilling piece.
Uh-oh, those pesky dust bunnies are on the loose. This piece imagines a world where dust bunnies hiding on your bed come to life and cause mischief. The music is bounty, silly, and full of surprises. Keep your ears open for silly, sneaky sounds and loud twists. It's a musical mess of fun.
we have one more piece for our 6th grade band. Thank you so much for coming this evening and for supporting your students. It really means a lot to them and to me. We work really hard, they work really hard, actually. They're doing all the work. I'm not really doing much, I'm waving my hands. So, thank you, students. You guys are phenomenal to work with, and you sound so amazing tonight. So, bravo to you. Thank you so much. Thank you for raising such fabulous people. They're wonderful to work with. So, thank you, parents, for being here, for supporting them, for supporting the arts. We really appreciate it. We have one more piece.
Imagine yourself in a big, bright celebration. This piece takes you to Red Square in Moscow, Russia, where people gather for a special spring festival called Maiden. The music is bold and cheerful, with sounds that feel like a parade marching through the historic city. Listeners of the exciting events in the grand festival.